Oh my god. It's Obi-Wan.
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Dinosaurs have always been a massive part of my childhood, with me being absolutely in love with not just dinosaurs, but prehistoric life in general, as I would watch almost anything prehistoric related, watching multiple documentaries, and as the young child I was, I would watch peak shows like Dinosaur Train and Dino Dan. I also loved prehistoric stuff so much that I wanted to become a paleontologist. But as I got older, of course, I gave up on that dream job of being a paleontologist. But I still absolutely love dinosaurs and prehistoric history. And anytime there is a new dinosaur movie, Jurassic World related or not, I am super excited. So when I heard about the end of Oak Street and seeing all the dinosaurs that were going to be featured in this film, I was so hyped. And I wasn't just excited for this movie because of all the cool dinosaurs that were going to be in it, but the fact that we were going to get Obi-Wan Kenobi and freaking Catwoman as our stars, it already sounded like it was going to be an amazing movie. And even the premise for this movie sounded really awesome as well. A whole freaking neighborhood from the 80s being transported to prehistoric times, and the people from that neighborhood now have to fight against all the prehistoric wildlife. It just sounded like such a sick premise and just such an awesome movie. So yeah, it just sounded like a guaranteed good time at the movies. So I went to see the end of Oak Street for myself with my brother and my uncle, and oh my gosh, this movie was insane. It is genuinely hard for me to know where to start with this movie, as so much just happened in this one film. This movie just had so much happening in it, with all the dinosaur action and surprisingly the human storyline. Yeah, I honestly think that the human storyline in this movie was really good, as in a lot of modern day dinosaur movies, the human storyline either sucks or it's just extremely boring. But this movie, on the other hand, actually has me caring about these characters, especially our lead characters played by Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway. Yeah, these two and their chemistry in this film is just so perfect, and you truly care for these two when their relationship is going through some problems, as these two throughout the movie have been thinking about possibly going through a divorce, with Anne Hathaway being conflicted on if she wants to leave her family to pursue her dream of becoming a writer in New York. I also thought it was pretty cool that her book that she was writing at the beginning of the movie was basically her life, which will then lead to a well-performed argument between Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor later on in the movie. So overall, the performances in this movie are just so darn perfect. And not just with Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway, but even the performances done by the kids are pretty great, as when the scenes with them fighting or being attacked by some dinosaurs are pretty awesome, as you truly do see the fear in these kids and how they just feel so hopeless, like they're gonna die, because what else should they feel in this situation? Especially when these kids have to not only deal with surviving in a world full of dinosaurs, but also having to deal with their parents possibly wanting to divorce. So yeah, I personally think that the kids in this movie do an excellent job and are thankfully not annoying kid characters like a certain someone from a certain Jurassic movie. I will say though that these kids do make some pretty dumb decisions at times, like when the brother character runs off in the middle of the night to try and find their dog, which is like, what are you doing? You're aware that you're in a world full of savage dinosaurs that will kill anything that moves. Like, are you stupid? But other than that, I think that all the characters in this movie are great, and you truly do get to care for them as the movie progresses. I also really love the build up to the main mystery of this movie, that being the entire neighborhood getting transported to dinosaur times. But I really love how this movie first starts off by like throwing you into this happy, cheery neighborhood as we see everybody around the block having a good time, like doing water balloon tossing, kids hanging out and riding on bikes together. I just think it's just such a great way to show us the normal world that came before until showing us this crazy prehistoric world of dinosaurs later on. This movie is also really good at not dragging, as it does take maybe around 14 to 20 minutes till any prehistoric action ever happens. And before any of that stuff does happen, the human stuff before is pretty entertaining. As I did say earlier about these human characters being interesting, them being interesting does really help out at the beginning of the movie and before we get any dinosaur action. So as we wait for the dinosaur stuff to happen, we are like given a lot of pretty interesting, human stuff and, like get to know our characters. And yeah, the characters, like I said, are really great. So yeah, they really do help out in scenes when there are no dinosaurs. But once our main characters get teleported, the build up to the family realizing they are now in prehistoric times is just done so perfect. And yeah, it is just really like awesome. Like I love how they start noticing and hearing some weird things, like hearing some people screaming off in the distance, and then Ewan and Anne leaving the house to see what's going on, and then noticing everything feels a lot warmer, and then start slowly showing some parts of dinosaurs, like a tail of an ankylosaur, a reflection of a raptor in a window, and then eventually Anne Hathaway finding the dead corpse of an old lady she knew at the beginning of the movie, and then noticing a giant slash in her throat, and also noticing a bunch of bloody footprints of a dinosaur all over the floor. So what I'm trying to say is that the overall build up to the dinosaurs, it was just done so perfectly, and it really leaves you in suspense. Even though you know what's gonna happen, I mean, at least if you watch the trailers, but like, you know what's gonna happen, but it's just like, this movie just brings just such a great, like, just the dread. It's just the dread of these characters not knowing where they are at is just so perfect, and not knowing what kind of creatures they have to deal with. Yeah, it's just absolutely terrifying, because then you just gotta put yourself in these characters' shoes and then think about, like, if this ever happened, like, what if this did happen? It obviously will never happen, hopefully, but if it did happen, you would just like be like just so scared, because like you don't know what's going on. Like you think that like everything is for the most part normal, but then until you start noticing some weird things, like people just screaming off in the distance, and then noticing some weird things like weird like footprints of some sort of animal, and then start hearing some weird sounds of animals you never heard of. It's just very terrifying. But yeah, I really did not expect to be on the edge of my seat this much for a dinosaur movie, like ever, because like this movie is legit what Jurassic World Rebirth should have been. Rebirth was definitely an improvement of a Jurassic World movie where they actually made dinosaurs a bit menacing and scary again, but at the same time, it was just so obvious who was gonna die in that movie. But where in this movie, you really do not expect like who's gonna die or what's gonna happen, like, because like, dear lord, I'm just gonna say it, so many freaking people die in this movie, like so many people. I just think that the way this movie just did its dinosaurs, it just worked so much better than Jurassic World Rebirth, and without a doubt all of the new Jurassic movies, with the dinosaurs actually feeling like real animals, specifically dangerous animals, and not dumb military weapons. Jurassic World. But now I want to talk about the designs and the dinosaurs themselves in this movie. And you guys already know how I feel about how these dinosaurs were done here, with them actually feeling like real threatening animals, as these dinos just did not show mercy to anyone here. And yeah, the designs for these dinosaurs were just fire. Like, they were just perfect. I mean, nearly perfect, but they definitely did a lot better than how Jurassic World would handle their dinosaur designs. But yeah, I really love that this movie, like, that the movie makers added feathers to a lot of the dinosaurs, as it's really nice to see these films finally doing more accurate depictions of dinosaurs. Although I do believe that having the sauropod dinosaurs having feathers was a little weird, probably having more feathers than any other dinosaur in the movie, to the point where it just looks like fur on them. It's a very unique design, but when it comes to the logic of dinosaurs, like the world of dinosaurs, especially the one our main characters are in, these sauropods would have died from heat stroke, with it being extremely hot during the Jurassic period, which I and a lot of dino enthusiasts have considered to be the official time our main characters are in, but we'll get to that in a bit. So yeah, these guys would have been dead because of their own feathers. But other than that, I think these designs are pretty solid. And the design that I love the most out of any design in this movie is the Allosaurus. You guys for sure do not know this, but the Allosaurus is my favorite dinosaur ever. Like, I just love this dinosaur. I don't know why. I've been loving this dinosaur since I was a kid. And yeah, so it's just, when I saw that the Allosaurus was gonna be in this movie, I was super hyped, and seeing this design made me twice as hyped than I ever was before. So seeing this guy in action was just such a beautiful gift to my inner child. I really love this guy's design with the feathers and the cool battle scars all around its face. This design just went hard in every single way, and I love it! This Allosaurus design deserves the monster skillet treatment. I feel it deeper than it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. And guys, a dinosaur that really got me hyped, but also kind of pissed me off, and this is where I'll get into the problems with which timeline this movie takes place. And what I'm talking about is the Spinosaurus. Man, us Spinosaurus glazers have been eating good since Rebirth and Primitive War. I was really happy to hear a Spinosaurus was gonna be in this movie, as the Spino really does get pushed aside in dinosaur movies a lot. But thankfully, our boy made it to the party, and now we can play this peak song. Wait, why does this Spino kind of look like the old Spinosaurus from Dinosaur Train? Is that just me? I really enjoyed seeing a Spinosaurus again on the big screen, but at the same time, it didn't make any sense. This is where I kind of go into what will be one of my biggest issues with this film, which is the time period problem. The time period it seems like this movie is supposed to take place in is the Jurassic, with half the dinosaurs in this movie being dinosaurs from the Jurassic, like Allosaurus, Stegosaurus, and Brachiosaurus, which are the type of dinosaurs that those sauropods were supposed to be. But then we get the freaking Spinosaurus, which is a dinosaur from the Cretaceous. Like, I'm just so darn confused. I was very aware before watching this movie that the Spinosaurus was going to be in this movie, but I thought it was going to be something where the first half of the movie takes place in the Jurassic, but then the neighborhood gets teleported again, but this time they are now in the Cretaceous, and this is how we see a Spinosaurus. But that never happens, and now it just makes no sense. And this isn't even the only creature in this movie that suffers from this problem. With the main raptors, I can't speak. Those raptor dinos, the Coelophysis is a dinosaur from the Triassic, and then that snake creature, which was probably the most terrifying freaking creature in this entire movie, is meant to be a Titanoboa, a creature that didn't even live during the time of the dinosaurs, living in the Cenozoic, right after the dinosaurs. But just like me, other people have theorized that this could possibly be a primeval / La Brea, where maybe some of these creatures could have been teleported as well to this specific time period, which I'm still gonna go with this time period being the Jurassic, because why not? But that could possibly be the case with us having a little primeval situation with different creatures from different periods being transported into this prehistoric jungle. So I would say that's basically my only real problem with this movie. Because as a huge lover of dinosaurs and knowing the specific time periods these guys are supposed to be in, it kind of pisses me off that the writers got it pretty wrong and just didn't care. But hey, at least the designs of these dinosaurs look pretty good, and they're not the designs from 65. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I want to get into a huge spoiler of the movie. So you all have been warned if you don't want to hear this. And man, I really did not expect this to happen. Freaking Ewan McGregor gets gobbled up by the Allosaurus. And when I mean gobbled up, I don't mean like him getting killed off screen by doing some heroic sacrifice. No! My guy gets grabbed by the Allosaurus' mouth on the leg, and then gets thrown onto the ground with the dino ripping off his leg, and then finally biting down onto the rest of his body and eating him in front of his wife and kids. That is trauma for decades! I kid you freaking not. Me, my brother, and my uncle could not believe our freaking eyes as my jaw was dropped. It's just a fact that this movie had the balls to kill off one of its lead characters, and a character like Ewan McGregor, someone who genuinely loved and cared for his family and just tried to look on the bright side of things, was just insane. But honestly, I respect the movie for doing that. Doing something like this really made the stakes of this movie even higher, and they were already high before, with me thinking that they could now just kill off any character now. I mean, legit, I thought the dog would have died first or ever, but surprisingly, it survived the whole dang movie. But killing off Ewan McGregor brought us a very emotional and quiet scene with the entire family inside the house just trying to process everything that happened. And this is where Anne Hathaway's acting really shines the most. But at the end of the movie, Anne Hathaway and her kids, through some time travel shenanigans, make it back to 1982. So yeah, they make it back to 82, specifically 15 minutes before their neighborhood gets teleported. So this gives Anne the opportunity to call her hubby wubby over to the area they're at to deliver some pizza, since that's his little side job that he had at the start of the movie. So Ewan comes over to the area they're at to deliver some pizza, but then he meets up with the family, very confused, since that's not the version of Ewan McGregor that was with them, since he's dead. But yeah, they have a nice little reunion, hugging Obi-Wan. But after that, our family gets to see their entire neighborhood get teleported for themselves, this time from a distance, as they see not a giant crater left behind from the missing neighborhood, but a whole freaking prehistoric swamp full of dinosaurs, now giving us a Fallen Kingdom-esque ending, but in a good movie. And that's the spoilers of the end of Oak Street I want to talk about. So yeah, this movie is an overall freaking blast, and I highly recommend it, especially since it's unfortunately not doing good. No thanks to Warner Brothers. But yeah, The End of Oak Street is the type of modern day dino movie us dinosaur fans have been wanting forever. A movie with dinosaurs that aren't just your generic overused T-Rex, Triceratops, Velociraptors, you name it, making the dinosaurs feel like actual scary animals and not just these well-trained super weapons, and having a story with actual interesting human characters. Thank you, End of Oak Street. I think The End of Oak Street might just be one of my favorite movies of the year. Despite some of the inaccuracies, this movie is nearly perfect and is the great example of what a summer blockbuster should be. Also, one last thing I wanted to talk about before the end of the video is this really an out-of-pocket scene with these two Brachiosaurus, and I'm not joking. This is an actual scene from the movie. Two Brachiosaurus. We see Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor checking out this weird sound they were hearing in the distance. And then they walk over to see two Brachiosaurus cracking each other. Yes, cracking each other. I'm not joking, guys. We straight up get to see two dinos showing us the miracle of life. As the great words of Jeff Goldblum.
I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
Indeed it has, Jeff. Indeed it has.